My hair be looking crazy today. I have tried so many times to try and fix it, but I think this is as good as it's going to get. But anyway, in today's video, I thought we would talk about what all I do because you guys know I'm a full-time lunch lady. I hands down love, love, love my job. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. I feel like I won the job lottery. So I thought we could just talk about what all I do, and it would give you insight into what your child's lunch lady or lunch guy does, what we're responsible for, because there's all bits and pieces to it. So I thought I would share it with you guys. So we're going to talk about all parts being a lunch lady. We're going to talk about how I got the job, when I started the job, what all I do in a day, you name it, we're going to go over it, okay? So let's get started. So, how I got the position was I actually found out about the job through my friend Renee. She had just applied and she found out about the job through a friend of hers who was already in the school system. So, it was a quick process. I applied, they called me in for an interview, and I had to wait about 7 to 10 days for a background check. And then I was in the school right off the bat. Now, in April, it marked 2 years of being a lunch lady, and we are now in October. I absolutely love it, you guys. How our day starts is usually we're clocked in by 7, and then we attend a morning meeting and we go over the menu for the day because, sometimes there's just for whatever reasons, there's just changes to the menu. Sometimes you don't have everything that you need, or there's just some changes for whatever reason, and so we go over that and make sure we're all on board for the menu for that day. And then after that, we all go to our stations, which is basically just a work table. Like my station is cold fruit. That's what I'm responsible for. I make sure, because we have nine lines, I make sure that all 9 lines have a cupped fruit and a whole fruit for the children to choose from. So we have, cold fruits, cold veggies, hot veggies, and then we have our main entrees and everything. Okay. So what we do is we start the day off at our stations, making sure we cup up or prepare whatever it is that we are in charge of, making sure our temperatures are right. We log everything that we use. If I take 2 boxes of apples out, I have to log the 2 boxes, how many servings are in a box, how much of the apples I used, because just because you open up a box of apples doesn't mean that every single apple in there is good. So you have to take account of that. And once everybody finishes up their station, then you seek out other coworkers to see who needs help. Because the number one thing that you want to take care of is the children. You want to make sure that the food is done first and then everything else comes after that. So once you help out everybody, you're done with your stuff, you've helped out your friend, all the food is prepared and ready to go. That is usually when we clean up the kitchen, and we are all in charge of cleaning up the kitchen. I mean, obviously, when you're done at your station, you wipe down your station, but we are all in charge of the whole kitchen. You're talking, you have the dish room. Everybody, there's not one person assigned to the dish room. No, no, no. We are all part of the dish room. So we all have dishes to do. We have trash that needs to be taken out, stuff that has to go to the recycling bin. We have laundry that has to be put in, has to be folded. We have the pantry, where we have to, in fact, the pantry, the freezer, and the cooler. I mean, everything has to be labeled. Nothing can be on the floor, so everything has to be put away, stocked properly. Of course, during the week, you get shipments in, so then we are in charge of putting the stuff away and make sure it's dated properly, making sure everything is working right. Everything has to be temperature regulated because, of course, you don't want any sickness. And that's a huge concern, is the safety and the healthiness environment for the kids, right? A clean environment for the kids and for us, and in a safe environment as well. So we have all of that. So we have all of our chores to make sure the kitchen is all clean, wiped down, everything sanitized, and usually we go for a break. a lunch break, which is a 30-minute break. Then after the 30-minute break, we are all preparing for lunch, which means we are setting up our lines with the hot stuff, the cold stuff. You want it to look good, look pretty for the kids. You want everything temperature regulated. I have to make sure that my register is set up. I have to count my drawer. Make sure we have the menus ready to go. I mean, make sure we have our cashier sheet. And then you guys, it's my favorite part. It's lunchtime. Your lunch lady loves lunchtime. We love your kids. Listen, I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm just going to jump to the part where, financially, lunch ladies, lunch men do not make a lot of money. If your lunch lady is there, they're there because they love it. I can promise you that. We do not make a lot of money, okay? We are there because we love your children. So please remember that, because sometimes lunch can get a little crazy. They are all released, at least at my school, at the same time. There is a long line. And of course, I want the children to be able to enjoy as much of their lunch as they can. So our whole goal is to try to move the line as quickly as possible. But, we have to be very thorough, because you have to remember, it's not just about ringing them up. There's a lot of things that go to it. Some students are free, some are reduced, some are not. Some have allergies, some don't. And that is a very big one. We have to make sure that if they have a severe allergy to something, that they do not receive it. So we are constantly aware of that. And it's very helpful because it will pop up on the computer. And sometimes there's a little bit of an issue. Sometimes the notes are old and the children will say, no, I can have it. That's old. That was from when I was in elementary school. And I'll apologize. I'm sorry. I cannot give this to you. I just need you to have your parent call the cafeteria, and then we can have that note taken off, and then I can gladly give it to you. So, there's all kinds of notes on these registers. Some parents will have notes on there, no extra sales unless cash in hand, and which I get being a parent myself. So lunchtime is our favorite because we get to interact with your children. And let me tell you, they don't really like change too much. So they tend to gravitate towards the same lines every day. And so we get to know them really well, and they get to know us. And I tell you, it is a beautiful thing. Your kids are wonderful. I know sometimes with the media and everything happening in the news, it can get a little scary, but I am telling you, I'm not going to try to deny that every once in a while a fight doesn't break out, but I'm telling you, for the most part, your children are absolutely wonderful. They're well-mannered, they're respectful, and they're funny. And they really do take time to get to know us. And so that is why we love what we do. Because I'm gonna be real honest with you. Your lunch lady is there because they love it. There is no money in being a lunch lady or man. There is no money in it. I'm gonna be honest with you. So if we are there, it is because we love it. So keep that in mind. Okay, so after lunch, that's when we start doing the cleanup. We have to count if there's anything left. Then we count that up. We have to close up my drawer, shut down the computer, and then we have to start cleaning up. We have to get the dishes all ran through the dishwasher. Now you have to remember that's 9 lines of dishes. So we have to do that. We have to sanitize and clean again all the tables, the floors, trash has to be taken out, carts have to be washed and put away. So that's usually our day. And then we're usually out of there by 2:15, which is pretty awesome, especially on beautiful days like this. So I absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. So that's what your lunch lady does.